Hello, and welcome to the Karmotrine Lounge. I'm your host, Cherry Bomb.
And I'm your co host, Eyeball. We have a pretty good topic today, I think. We're going for kind of a indie games versus AAA games kind of style. Well, I'm going for more of a versus kind of deal, but I think Cherry here is just going to talk about a few games he enjoys,
Yeah.
and we'll see where we get. Yeah. So, how do you want to start off here? Because I have a big list here.
Um, I say you start off because you have a list, and I'm just gonna do this more improv.
Sure. Um, let's go with good indie games to start with, and that's a long list depending on how much of a gamer you are. But I know the one thing that everyone can agree on is that Shovel Knight really set the stage for what like indie games really can attain to.
Mm-hmm. I fucking
Um,
love Shovel Knight.
right? It was spectacular, and I think they only stopped updating it like this year or something like that.
Nope, they made a recent update because I shared with you their latest cash grab, which I found very funny.
Oh yeah, what was it again? It was
The Arby's expansion.
Oh yeah, no, they're doing Arby's advertising as
Mm,
of the recording, and it's man, they're still they're going full steam ahead, I guess.
yeah,
And they got their King of Cards DLC released, and I think they're doing like a Smash clone or something like
they already
that, right?
finished that.
That's all done too.
Yeah, it
Oh
came out
god,
on the same day as It came out with the whole completion of the Treasure Trove collection.
I haven't had time to sit down and play it, but I definitely know I need to now.
We definitely need to do a fighting game.
Oh, we'll get to the fighting games because you and I both have that passion.
Yeah. Well, I mean like IRL like fighting games. Like we just sit around.
Oh yeah, like Friday night fisticuff stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds not like a bad idea.
Hmm.
But Shovel Knight was a Kickstarter game, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And that kind of makes people a little nervous because there's some other Kickstarter games that didn't go as hot as mighty as Shovel Knight. I already slipped it there because I was thinking about it, but
We
the
might as
bad
well.
one,
We might as well
Mighty
talk about.
Number Nine. That's
Hurt the
oh
enemies as
boy.
much as a anime fan on prom night.
Oh yeah, that was a dumpster fire. That was bad.
I remember
Um,
trying to play it one night.
I own it on Steam. I bought it because I was curious, because I want to know exactly how bad it was. And oh man, like it
It's
is
bad.
Mega Man did not deserve that kind of revival, which is why Capcom threw in a Mega Man 11 as a proper successor.
Hmm. Which I kind of like, even though it's hard as
It's
nails.
it's good. I mean, I've never played it. I don't know much about 11, but the only thing I know is that it's a lot better than Mighty Number 9, which
Oh yeah.
isn't a bar to clear, to be perfectly honest, but hell, whatever works.
Because I will never forget that airplane guy, Avi.
Yeah,
Throughout his
oh,
whole course, he yells at you.
they all yell at you throughout the course. It
Well, he
was
has like
just
the
so
most
much
annoying
fun.
voice where he's constantly saying voice lines after voice line.
Honestly, like I don't regret buying Mighty Number 9, but it was just like I kind of wasted a little bit of money just like on a joke, honestly, because it's like it's just bad. it's, there's no salvation for a game like that.
Hmm.
Like it was, despite all the money it made, and then it was trying to release on like 10 different platforms at once because it was in that generational gap. It was just a mess.
Yeah, it was
Some could
very
even say the
messy.
perfect storm, but I don't know.
How about
But
we?
on the
Oh,
oh, you go on.
okay.
You got
I was
something.
gonna say, how about we clean the palette with a very good indie game that came from Kickstarter that I really love,
Oh
A
yeah, I
Hat
was
in
just about.
Time.
Oh okay, good.
Good old
Hat in
Hat Kid.
time. Yeah, that's that's quite something.
It
So
nails the humor a lot better.
it was the platform revival after Ukulele kind of let it slide there.
Hmm.
Which I mean, I haven't played Hat in Time, but I've had some time with Ukulele, and honestly, they actually kept updating it after it all released, and it's not the worst nowadays, but it was definitely problematic when it released. I know that,
Hmm. We're talking
and
about ukulele here, not Hat in
yeah,
Time.
Ukulele kind of flopped, and then Hat in Time kind of picked up the pieces and worked out real well.
Because
I got a soft spot for both of them,
yeah,
but
for me I have the softest like hot spot for Hat in Time just because I love the whole aesthetic and
It's cutesy, yeah.
even like the stupid humor, even though like she's just a blanket gremlin child.
Mm-hmm.
She's just fun.
She was in a spaceship or something. It was like
Yeah.
the plot is a mess to me. All I've seen is people jumping around on mopeds and switching hats and stuff. So
I remember my favorite image is when you do the movie level
oh, does
because
she
she
have like
has,
two pairs of glasses
yeah,
on?
yeah, she
Oh, of
does.
course. Yeah, I forgot about that. No, I definitely Hat in Time is a great game. And again, like last time's topic of RPG Maker games, a lot of these games you should definitely check out if you haven't already and you're interested in anything we talk about here. Uh, like Shovel Knight, Hat in Time. Maybe not my number 9, but
Maybe
but most of the
Ukulele,
games.
the second one, the
Oh
platformer
no,
one.
the second one, the 2D one they made is actually okay and it's pretty good from what I heard.
I heard
The,
people love that one.
well, yeah, I mean, is it? I don't know if it was comparative or if it was like based on how good it is compared to everything else rather than just its first game. But I think it's okay
Yeah,
from what I've seen. A lot, I haven't played it still, so.
I think I have it just because I have a bunch of like subscription things that sometimes give me free things.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it would probably only be like $10 or something, like to buy it as itself, unless it's more. I don't know. I haven't really looked. I almost forgot about that. Their little second attempt at platforming, and it turned out all right.
hmm
What else do we got here?
Should I talk about a subject while you find another one?
Sure, you can. I mean, I have my list here, and I'm just
hmm
kind of deciding what to say. But you bring something up here.
I'm gonna bring up one of my favorite indie fighting games,
Oh yeah,
um, which doesn't play like a fighting game, but I love it. It's called Lethal League.
Lethal League. The second you said it doesn't play like a fighting game, he's gonna talk about Lethal League.
Yeah. Well, there's a
Yeah,
lot of indie fighting games that we love.
true. But the ball game is the that's the notable one. That's the one you've got quite the kick out of.
Yep, I love playing Blaze.
Lethal League, Blaze.
My
Yeah, that
favorite
was the setup.
my favorite thing is they got Mr. Jet Set Radio, Hideo Kazuma or
That's
something
his
like that.
name. I don't know. There's a lot a lot of Japanese
It's
names.
in Japanese, so I have trouble pronouncing it. He goes by Big Chungus on
No, he
Twitter.
doesn't, does he?
Yeah,
Oh God.
he is very in the memes.
Of course he is.
Um,
What a monster. So they got him as an artist, right?
yeah, they got him as like one of like the songwriters because there's a lot of indie songwriters in this.
Yeah. Well, I
He
think
made funky fresh beats.
funky fresh beats for a funky fresh game. Lethally, I haven't played with it as much as I should have,
hmm
but I know that it's simplistic enough that you can pick up and play, but then there's like actual like strategy behind it and stuff like that.
Especially in Blaze, there's a lot more strategy involved.
It's expanded version. Like I have the original version and it's pretty good. It's good proof of concept, and then Blaze kicks it up a notch.
Yep.
For $20, I sure hope they kick it up a notch. That
That.
reminds me though, is that
Oh, and
oh
I was just gonna
yeah,
say like they are releasing a Jet Set Radio game later this year, I believe, called
it's not
Bomb City Cyberpunk.
yeah,
Cyberpunk.
it's not actually Jet Set Radio, is it? It's like just highly inspired with it.
Yes, it follows a lot of like the grind and graffiti aesthetics of it,
It's
as well as
Jet
the
Set Radio in all but name.
yeah, because
Yeah.
Sega does not like to remember anything that isn't Sonic or Yakuza.
Oh yeah, that is true. I'll drink to that. Sonic and Yakuza is all we got for their AAA asses. But we'll get to the AA games in a little bit here because there's
Mhm.
still plenty more indie games to bring up.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an indie game actually, but just you reminded me that Fury had the Jet Set Radio artist come on for concept art, I think, or character design or something like that. And I don't know if Fury is indie game, but if it is, it's a great little game to pick up. And if it isn't, well, still take a look because it's great.
Yeah. I kind of forgot about Fury.
Yeah, right. I got my kicks out of it pretty recently. I ran through the game, tried to learn it real well, and still couldn't. But it's I don't even know how to describe it. Like a bullet hell, like boss rush style. Kind of want to say hack and slash, but not really. It's definitely something. And the developers came out with a new game, I think called Haven or something. Looks really similar. But I digress. Should probably get back to. I mean, Fury might be an indie game. I didn't check, but other indie games we got here. A little. You remember Carrion?
I do
The
not. Could
You
you
don't
remind me
remember
of it?
that? It's the spooky one with the red monster that you play as and like destroy a facility. Like
Oh,
you're like
that one
constantly
by
evolving. Yeah,
Digital Devolver.
it
Yeah,
was
we're gonna have to
Devolver Digital.
Devolver Digital. We're gonna have a lot to talk about with them.
Yeah, I mean, I think I probably have a few games on the list here. But Carry On, that was it was short. That's the main thing I remember is that it was short and it was still good.
Hmm. You played
But
as
it
this like
was
long, stringy Lovecraftian horror monster.
yeah, like a Yog Sothoth or something. Like it was crazy because you constantly evolved and just like ate people.
Sometimes we could
Like,
even like hijack their bodies.
yeah, well, I mean, "You're the monster" was the tagline for that one, so
Hmm.
it definitely did that well enough. But I'm kind of waiting for a sequel. I think.
Speaking about
Uh,
you being a monster or kind of a villain, I'm gonna
mm,
bring up another one of my favorite indie games,
well,
Hotline Miami 1 and 2.
Hotline Miami. You know a lot more about that than I do.
Mhm. I know it so much that I often love to cosplay as the main character, Jacket.
Yeah, and you got his jacket in real life, and I've seen you around with that.
It's beautiful. It's very comfy.
The only thing I know about it is that you have a gun and you kill things, and everything is like synthwave
Mhm.
and messy. Sound about right?
Slightly. You don't always have a gun.
Oh, okay.
There's some, I would say masks that don't specialize with guns as much.
Okay.
For me, I often ran the bunny route because it always made me go really fast. So
Mm.
I often chose like really hard melee weapons to just kill them
I
while
work
running
with it. Yeah.
and then shoot the people final.
Well, I mean, the main concept of the game is still to go into a house and murder a bunch of people, right?
Yeah, murder mafia, like the Russian mafia, or a bunch of cops, just a
Whenever I
bunch of
think of
things.
uh, whenever I think of Hotline Miami, I always think of Hatred. You remember that game way back in the day?
Oh, I think I do. Like,
Hatred, which was that super edgy like school shooter game that
uh,
was like top down.
I remember
Yeah,
like the main, like it being like such a controversial game, but then it
but
just came out, and then it was like,
it's subpar. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it was controversial, given what it was trying to do, but it was just edgy,
mm,
needless, gratuitous, and a bunch of words to describe it.
yeah.
I don't think they're related in any way. I always jump.
You
My
know, it's
mind
kind
always
of
jumps to it.
sad when the gore in Hotline Miami, which is pixelated by the way, looks better than a game that's trying to be as realistic as possible.
Well, to be fair, Hatred's color palette was a lot of black and white, and Hotline Miami avoided that color as like the plague and went for more neon.
Hmm. There's very like few whites, and usually you're the one in white, just so it's easier for you to determine who you are
Yeah, exactly.
and who your
Speaking
enemies are.
speaking of the vaporwave kind of neon aesthetic, Hypnospace Outlaw.
Ooh,
Have you
I
heard of
haven't
that
played
one?
that game, but I've seen like gameplay of it, and it's very interesting.
It's super interesting and it's just vast, I find. So the whole prospect is that you put on like a VR headset and you're like an 80s internet cop or something and you're going to shut down like illegal websites and stuff and it's all like I don't even know how
All
to
while
describe it.
zoning out to Granny Cream's hot butter ice cream.
Yeah, there's like real ads and stuff. It's like an actual like it's a time capsule of the old internet and this like vaporwave kind of outlandish aesthetic and ridiculousness as well. I don't know. I've never played it either. I just remembered that it looks really interesting and it's definitely fun. You could probably lose hours to that just immersing yourself in that like other version of the internet from 20 years ago now.
An alternate universe internet.
An alternate universe where the colors pink, purple, and orange never went out of style on the website
Everyone
for.
hangs out on teens, the teen blog.
Oh yeah. What else we got here? Oh yeah. Hades. Technically it's an indie game.
It is, and it got
It is.
nominated for like a bunch of Game of the Year awards this year.
Well, it got nominated for the big Game of the Year award that was
Got
unfortunately
stolen from it.
stolen away. But well, that's I have a very passionate section at the bottom for that. We'll get to that in a little bit here.
You wrote that like doing like hard like fisting hate.
Yes, yeah, it's in the bold underlined section at the bottom of my paper here.
Mm-hmm.
But Hades, a very stylish little roguelike by Supergiant Games,
Mm-hmm.
and I love their stuff. I have every one of their games. Unfortunately, not a lot of time to play them, but I've played a little bit of Transistor, which is really nice looking, and Hades seemed to take the world by storm, which I'm glad about because everyone likes Greek mythology.
Yeah, I mean, like, look at God of War and other games like that.
And I have that down in the AAA section too.
So that's a good game.
That is a good one.
As well as I want to mention one thing: best character in that game, Medusa.
I haven't seen anything of her, but I've heard high praise, so I'll say that she is too.
And she's cute. She has like the snake face, and she's like, "Hello, master."
Of course, she's like that. Of course.
And she's just a little derp, and I love it. It's cute.
Oh. Well, Hades is a good game. That's definitely one you got to try out if you haven't. Ignore the fact that I haven't tried it out, but you
also
should
ignore the fact that I'm a bit of an idiot when describing cute characters.
Good game, great game. Mm. What else here? Celeste.
Oh yeah, Celeste.
Celeste. That's
solid
that's
platformer.
Top tier. That is top tier platformer. That is a great one. Modest price, great soundtrack, great gameplay. Can't go wrong.
10 out of 10 wood strawberry again.
I don't know, 10 out of 10, but it's definitely something nice.
Mm-hmm.
Have you played it at all?
I know I have it in my library, but you know my backlog's kind of
big.
big.
Yeah, backlog. It's right in the backlog. A lot of these indie games are right in the backlog, honestly. But I know there's quality just from what people are saying about it. Just like Disco Elysium, we have one friend here, and he loves the game. He loves Disco Elysium to an infinite degree. One of the best stories he's ever heard in any game. So I kind of had to put it on this list.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful art style from, like, again, what I'm saying here is basically just like an outline because I haven't played it, but it's apparently really good. So yeah, Disco Elysium. You know anything about that one?
I know he really likes the professors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And how like bizarre they look, and that's just a fun game to him.
I think it's a detective game, isn't it?
Like, I know it's like a turn-based game.
No, I didn't even know that. Maybe we should hold off talking about it until one of us gets our hands on it. Then
we'll definitely have like our redo episode where we come back.
We actually play all the games we talk about here. That'd be a great idea. You know, more games I haven't played. Night in the Woods tells a great story with little animal characters. I
love teasing my friend about having it.
Yeah, well, he loved that game. He did, but it's a little bit scandalous, you know, in this day and age of the internet. But you know, it's fine. It's harbors a little bit of tragedy in it, not only within the story, but also the creator of the game unfortunately passed away. I think that was last year. Yeah, kind of sorrowful, honestly. But if you're into that, it's all about like going to like quitting college and just being a quitter or something.
Mm-hmm. I believe that we're going to talk about later another college game, but for now I'm going to talk about, I think, one of the last indie games that I want to talk about. You can go
What's
on.
That?
It's a really good like Switch title called The Liar Princess and the Blind Prince.
I've seen that. I've seen promotional work for that.
I enjoyed playing it. It was just very nice. Just because you play as this giant wolf who loves singing to the prince every night. However, he sees her one night and she scratches his eyes out. And you get to see all the blood.
That was developed by
the guys who made Prinny, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely got a style to it. I don't know anything about it, but
I loved playing it. It made me happy and sad.
Oh, good. It's a melancholy game. That's great.
Made me feel like an emotional marshmallow.
Oh, that we could put that one right next to Night in the Woods then on the you should play this, but it's kind of a Headspace kind of style.
Mm-hmm. And I think, oh wait, maybe there's only like another game that we should talk about, but maybe we'll have like a full in-depth episode about it.
What's that?
Valhalla.
Valhalla, that's an indie game, isn't it?
It is.
I don't even consider it an indie game. That is
Just because of
one of my favorite games.
how influential it was to us.
Absolutely. I want to become a bartender just because of that cyberpunk bartending action. That fantastic game. A
We're,
little bit headspacey still though.
we're gonna have a
Um
whole episode devoted to that.
oh, absolutely. It's also where the name for our little show here got put together. I believe Karmotrine is like alcohol in that game. You can like spike drinks with it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Optional Karmotrine
Optional
pours the
Karmotrine.
whole thing.
Yeah, no, it's like a visual novel with like a great art style. Definitely, that's the one. Okay, if you don't look at any of the ones that we're recommending, Valhalla, that's the one.
Mm-hmm.
Coming out with a sequel, but it's kind of to be announced at this point. Just wait, it's a great one. I love the soundtrack. I love everything about that game.
Yeah.
It's great.
Any
I
other?
still, I
Oh,
do. Yes, I do. I do have a few quick ones here that I can kind of blaze through. Um, Spiritfarer was developed by the people who made Sundered and Jotun and all that. It's like hand drawn animation style. It's Spiritfarer is like you're on a boat, and I don't know. That's all I know about it, is you're on a boat and it has a gorgeous art style, and you should play that.
I'm on a
Uh,
boat.
Pretty. It's. I don't even know anything about it. I haven't bothered to look. Um, Stardew Valley was indie. Stardew Valley, I'm
Forgot
pretty
about
sure
that one.
everyone's heard something about. Harvest Moon, except for a new generation, I'm seeing it as. It's great. Fall in love or don't. Do whatever you want. You want to farm.
Just farm.
uh, just farm. Then there's Hollow Knight's also an indie game. That one's like, yeah, right. There's a lot to talk about with them.
Because like, I know I'm improvising this, but like, there's just so much good indie games that like I'll remember like bam, 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 but then there'll be
Yeah,
like that one that I forget, and I'm like, ah.
yeah. It was fun making this list. I had to sit here and really scratch my head. Hollow Knight. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like Bug Dark Souls in 2D. um,
Skullgirls. That's one that we.
Skullgirls is indie, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't even think about it as an indie game anymore because
another
it's
influential game for us.
still coming out. We're playing Skullgirls at some point, whether it be an episode or a live stream. We're gonna do it because
Mm.
that's a game. It's a game we both love near and dear.
Yeah, and I suck at it, but
Yeah, it's fine. You can't compare it to me. I've been practicing on it for years.
mhm. And
Well,
one more fighting game that I want to quickly shoot off. Them's Fighting Herds. You told me
them's
about
fi-
it.
Oh yeah, it is in. Oh my god, how could I forget? Them's Fighting Herds, the brainchild of the pony fighting game, and I know that sets off a lot of red flags for some people, but I assure you, Them's Fighting Herds is a fun little romp.
If if they could make somebody who doesn't really like My Little Pony, just because I hated the fandom for a
Yeah, I
while.
mean, I'm not really into it either, and it's completely because it started out as an actual My Little Pony like fan game, and then it got shut down, and then the team got put together, and they're like, all right, let's make an actual game, and they did. They even had the artists for My Little Pony do their art there, which again, some people are like, I don't know if I want to do that, but it's honestly a fun little game to mess around with.
Hmm.
Yeah, Them's Fighting Herds. I think it's still getting an update. It's getting like a pirate update or something.
Yeah, where he plays Billy Goat.
Yep. Why not, right? What else we got? Dead Cells. Again, I don't know much about this, but it's popping off. People are really getting a kick out of Dead Cells. Rogue-like Metroidvania style game, from what I understand.
Mm,
Uh,
Rogue Legacy.
Rogue Legacy. Well, that's
It
Rogue
got
Legacy started the rogue like genre pretty much.
yeah.
And then a few extra ones here. Papers, Please. That's kind of a rabbit hole. It's you work as like what are you, like a border guard where you're just trying to like see people are trying to get through the border and you have to let them through or not.
Hmm.
Give you your papers. Early stuff like Spelunky. That was a very I never played Spelunky. I never really had an interest in it, but it also is very important to the genre. Katana Zero.
Now,
That one
every
it's got
time I think I'm done, I just keep on remembering more.
Yeah,
Edmund
it's got.
Macmillan's whole catalog of game, Binding of Isaac, Meat Boy.
Oh yeah, oh Meat Boy, how could we forget? Well, maybe we'll do the revisit episode and maybe we'll just talk about indie games, but for now, let's just cut to the chase.
Mm-hmm.
Um okay, no, sorry. I forgot a very important indie game to me. It's right here at the bottom and underlined and crossed out at the same time.
With the little pink hearts.
With the little pink hearts, that would be Y2K.
Ah, god damn
Yeah.
it.
I almost forgot to put it on my list, but you reminded me.
We
What
were
yick.
talking about good things and you had to ruin it.
I've gotta throw it. I've gotta have some bad indie games, and Yick is. Oh, it's a. Oh God, it's a train wreck. You know what? No, you know what? We'll have an episode talking about like guilty pleasures or something awful, and I'll talk about it then because it is way there's way more to it to me than I could put into this little episode. But just know that the Y2K episode is coming, whether Ch3rry here likes it or not.
I'll have to
Okay.
probably commission the artist to tie me bound up. Well, you're just
Oh yeah.
because I'm too
uh
happy to be listening about you spewing off about Y2K, a
Come on, it's
postmortem
fine.
RPG.
Speaking of artists here, I guess we should probably do some plugging. I made a Twitter for the page recently.
That you
Uh,
did.
I did, and it's just the Karmotrine Lounge on Twitter. I don't remember what our at is. I think it's at K Lounge Podcast. You can follow us there and get all the updates for all upcoming episodes, or maybe what happens if we don't get to record an episode next week or whatever we're doing. Just keep updated with that there. You can also find
The artist.
the artist who did the beautiful commission work for us in our art. Um, I'm
Miss
trying to remember what her handle is
MaybeaARTS.
now.
MaybeaARTS.
MaybeaARTS on Twitter. Yeah, I think I'm actually following them there.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, definitely take a look at her stuff. It's really great stuff. I remember me and Ch3rry here were like we have to get her to do the art.
She's a good little cinnamon bun.
Good artist, great cinnamon bun. Anyway, now that we've talked about all the great indie games that we love and are definitely of quality, it's
Except
time
for
to move on
Y2K.
to except for what you I knew you were gonna throw that in. We got to move into um, AAA games, which I have a little bit more divisive thoughts on. Um, why don't you start, Ch3rry? Why don't you throw down some topics for AAA games?
So I'm kind of a shill sometimes. And
Oh no.
sometimes like there'll be like a really good like AAA game that I'm just like, whoa, this is so fun.
Yeah.
Because I remember just because I'm a nerd, I really like the Spider-Man game.
That's not a bad thing. Spider-Man's fine. The new one on the new Spider-Man on the PS5 or whatever, that was good, I
Yeah, I
think.
can't wait to eventually play that once I sell my kidneys.
Yeah, and get a PS5 for thousands of dollars, yeah.
Yeah. Um, there's a bunch of really good Nintendo games I always feel bad shelling out for. Like,
You should. I put Nintendo's games all in the bad section of the AAA games.
I like Breath of the Wild
Breath of the Wild was great, but I mean there's still some problems like Metroid. Yeah, I remember Metroid.
and F
No one else
Zero.
does. F-Zero. Okay, well we're not gonna do Nintendo franchise talk today, but the point is that Um, I think that people shill Nintendo too much, and they give them too much ground to walk on when there's some pretty big problems with it. Aside from Breath of the Wild and the magic of the Switch, whatever you want to call it.
And
Uh,
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing. I don't like Animal Crossing, despite having an Animal Crossing Switch.
I bought that for you for your
Yeah,
birthday.
yeah. You're like, here, take this. Man. I don't like Animal Crossing. You're like, I know.
You just like Tom Nook.
Tom Nook, he's my spirit animal. I don't know. I don't play any Animal Crossing games. I just know that Tom Nook and I are very similar.
I can't wait for the day that you like you whip out the Switch in public at a bar, and an
Yeah.
attractive young lady is like, "Hello there, what are you
You,
playing? You like Animal Crossing?" And you're like, "No," and then you just leave.
you're implying first of all I go to a bar and also have a Switch. But let's get back on topic here.
Yeah,
We got before mentioned the God of War series as a AAA like series in general or
fun.
game. Astounding. I mean, I have a bias because I played them when I was little, when I probably shouldn't have. But the
Oh, I
newest
played
release
Twisted
on the
Metal when I
PS4.
was little.
Yeah, right. Like it's whatever. The new God of War and the upcoming God of War Ragnarok, extremely hopeful for. That was a great way to transition an older franchise into new light.
As
Um,
well as switching mythos from
exactly.
Greek
Well,
to
that was honestly at the beginning of
Norse.
their as at the beginning of their ideas for that. They were always going to have Kratos jump between mythos, but maybe we'll do we could always do longer episodes about specific series if we have more to talk about. But
Mm-hmm.
got Mortal Kombat as well. Doing
Oh,
Mortal Kombat 11.
I know we're
Doing
gonna have two Mortal Kombat episodes that I want to talk about. One, the games, and two,
the movies,
we're gonna watch the movie, the
the new
upcoming movie.
movie, and then maybe we can talk about the old movies too. There's a
Yeah,
lot of them. But no, Mortal Kombat's doing fine. It's a fighting game, very graphic. That's kind of been their whole shtick ever since like '91 or whatever they were starting at.
my favorite joke is it's your dad's fighting game where he gets to pick all the
It
characters.
is all the characters. You got like Terminator, Rambo, RoboCop, like all the characters that your dad. If you asked your dad who would be in a fighting game, it would be those ones.
All while he's like chugging a nice like Monster
Like
Energy drink, like
yeah, some boomer thing like that. Anyway, Horizon Zero Dawn, the new one coming out. Horizon got ported to PC recently, but it is dude,
stinky
it's
poo poo.
crazy. Stinky? No, I loved it.
No, I mean like the port on PC from what I
Oh, the
heard.
port on PC is kind of stinky, but I mean, I have it on PS4, and it's a great little run through open world robo dinosaurs. Can't ask more from it.
Near Automata,
Nier Automata. Oh, yeah, I
I love
forgot
that
about that
one.
one. Great game. Great ass. Great game.
I was
That's
about
all
to,
I've got.
I was about to say that like I think everyone agrees. The reason why we play this game, 2B.
Yeah, great gameplay and also appreciating 2B, but that's no surprise. Um,
She's just cute.
yeah, sure, you can think that. I've read a few interesting books that claim otherwise, but
We should get an
Monster
OnlyFans.
Hunter.
Just
Well, let's look at Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is a great series. Running around killing monsters. It's so self-explanatory. You can't be mad at it. Waiting to play Monster Hunter World when I can actually afford that.
I mean, there's
The
gonna be
Witcher.
one on the Switch.
Yeah, there is Monster Hunter Rise, right?
Yeah.
That'll be fun. I hope.
Who knows? I might even play it, even though I never really got it.
Yeah, it took me a while to really get it too. Then we got like The Witcher. Witcher 3 specifically was I booted it up for the first time like a few months ago, and it was just wow. Like I didn't get it, but it's crazy what could be done even like 2015 when they did that.
Mm. I've always wanted to play it. I have it in my library. I have just been busy with school.
Yeah, exactly. You got to sit down. You got to play that one. Um, Dark Souls, of course, great franchise. Mostly, I have a few problems with it sometimes, but I do still like it.
2 is the best.
2 is I like 2 a lot more than other people do, and I'm not gonna start a fandom war. But Dark Souls 2 is a lot better than people say.
It's so good that I've watched you and our other friend just go through it multiple times, and I'm like,
Yeah. We
ah,
did the
yeah,
co-op run
the
throughs. That's
boys
how
are
it
back
is.
in town.
The boys are back in town. What else we got here? Titanfall. I actually liked Titanfall. I thought it was a fun idea, and then they kind of adapted it to like Apex Legends these days. But it was cool. I was like the idea of big robots. Resident Evil doing the remakes now. Very impressed with that. After their return to form for Resident Evil 7, and oh, I forget, how did I almost forget the big vampire mom from 8. That's gonna be fun to deal with.
You know that some people are gonna be like, I don't want to kill her because
Yeah, of
she's my
course they're gonna
wife.
be like that. Of course. And then there's some other miscellaneous stuff I got here. Crash Bandicoot made his shining return into the AAA market.
I
Watch
want to play.
Dogs.
I want to play Crash 4 one of these days.
Crash 4 is good. I'm not really I don't really have a want to play it, but I know that it's definitely the Metro series. I remember I got into that one because I told my dad that I like Metroid, and then he got me Metro, and he's like, "This is what you wanted, right?" I said no, but thanks anyway, and it was great.
I really need to meet your dad one of these days. He
Of all
just
the
seems like
stories I
this
tell
fun
him, yeah.
boomer.
Yeah, he's crazy. He likes games and stuff, but he's always busy with work, so he never gets to. But I'll never forget the time he just beat the shit out of me in like Blaze Blue, Blaz Blue, whatever you call it,
Then
in
that
Blaz
time that
Blue.
he took one of your Warhammer books and
Yeah,
just
and he
read
just
it.
read it. Yeah, Warhammer. Oh God, that's another episode.
That's gonna be
Let's.
a good episode because even though I play it, I like to eat my pieces.
Oh God, we'll talk. Well, let's keep on track with AAA games here.
Um, I really like.
Minecraft. Yep,
He just kept me. So
Minecraft.
now it's gonna sound like I said I like Minecraft.
Yeah, I know Minecraft. It's Minecraft.
Actually, that's an
There's
indie
nothing more
game.
to say.
It's an indie
Is
game.
that an indie game? Technically, yes, but it's the most AAA indie game I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I mean, it started off indie, and then like after Microsoft bought it, and then Notch was kicked out just because he said some pretty
Controversial stuff.
yeah.
It's Minecraft. There's not a lot to say on it that hasn't already been said or seen. But yeah, you got any other good AAA games that you enjoy
Um,
or series maybe? I kind of kept it
I
to a
like the
minimum.
company Atlas because they made two really good games that I love playing, which is I really like playing Persona 4.
Oh, Persona. Yeah.
I know that you're not the biggest fan of 5, but 4 is pretty good.
I'm not the biggest fan of either of the Persona or any of the Persona games, rather, but I mean, I can still respect them
Hmm.
for what they did.
And I love Catherine.
Catherine.
That is one of my
Yeah,
favorite puzzle games. It's now even a competitive puzzle game, believe it or
of
not.
course it is. Of course it is. I don't know much on Catherine or um that one you said earlier that I'm forgetting the name of.
Persona.
Persona. Yeah, I just brain farted there. But no, Atlas is a good company. I think they've made a few games that even I can dip my feet in once in a while.
I'd say like if they ever port it on Switch, we need to play the fighting game.
There's a Persona fighting game.
Yes, yes,
Of
there
course,
is.
there's a Persona fighting game.
Persona had a rhythm game, a fighting game, and a Samurai Warriors game recently.
Sounds about right. What else? What else we got here? Oh, in the bad section for the bad side of AAA, just
Sonic
because
the
it's a big
Hedgehog.
budget.
Sonic the
I
Hedgehog.
I surprisingly didn't do Sonic. I was more focused on Anthem and other AAA failures in my eyes, I guess.
Well, let's talk about Anthem, and then I'll talk about
Anthem.
my garbage
Oh,
file that I want to discuss.
I'll talk about Anthem because I remember I was so excited because I loved mech suits and I thought it looked super cool. Um, I bought PS Plus and the game for full price to play it, and then was
This is
thoroughly
this
disappointed.
is during your like year off from like schooling, if I'm correct.
Yeah, this was it
So you're pretty
when I was
much
a little
next to broke. Well, you still have,
tight on money, yeah,
yeah.
paying for rent, and I'm just like, oh look, Anthem, and I wasted all that money on it, and it was just the saddest thing. But I think they killed it recently. They
They
were
did.
gonna remake it, but they not anymore. I think it
They pulled the life support.
was just like Mass Effect Andromeda. That one was that was quite the mess.
I'm
What
only
else here?
human after all.
Oh no.
Um,
Destiny. I didn't like. I love Destiny. It's got a very. The series has a very special place in my heart, but I have to say it is a bad franchise, mostly because of how it started and kind of how they've been proceeding. I don't know. It's just there's not enough really there to grab onto besides the gameplay, which kept me coming back for like a year straight. It's all I did when I was like 15 playing it.
now it's
But
time for the famous Ch3rry rant.
oh
Um,
yeah,
Screw Sonic. There have been
Sonic.
so much bad Sonic games. Even like as like this is weird for me to say because I'm a Sonic fan, surprisingly.
You don't sound like it from from the start of this rant, but go on.
Well, I loved Mania, but then they pulled out one of my least favorite Sonic games, which it should just be a long cutscene. Sonic Forces.
Come on, I thought Sonic Forces was funny.
It was terrible. You got to
It,
make your own persona.
yeah, that was
You
the whole draw of it, but uh, Sonic Forces.
Sonic forces you to make your own original character.
Sonic's always had it rough though. All the 3D Sonic games have kind of had the piss taken out of them.
Mostly
So much
because
so.
it almost seems like he tries to copy Mario a little bit too much with their ideas.
It more seems like Sonic got lucky in the 90s with his other games, because at this point, because Sonic in 3D is really hard. I think the closest we ever came was like Sonic Unleashed in the daytime stages. Like one half of Sonic Unleashed was good, and then they turned him into a werehog.
Sonic Colors was good, even though that
Well,
was
yeah,
mostly 2D.
Sonic Colors was pretty good. Generations mostly. Sonic 06.
Sonic
Yeah.
Lost Worlds.
Lost Worlds is inoffensive to me. It's not it's not
just boring.
it's boring, but people you can't compare it to Sonic 06. Like no way. What else? Oh, then they had the Black Knight. There's so many Sonic games, honestly. Probably have to do an entire
I love
episode on him.
when they went to the Aladdin book.
Yeah, the
Lost
Secret Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Arabian Sonic and the Arabian Nights. Yeah, they were definitely experimental with Sonic. Oh God, Sonic Boom. Do you remember Sonic Boom? That was
hated the
might
game.
have been the worst.
Appreciated the cartoon for what it did.
The cartoon definitely tried its best and was okay. The game was worse than a dumpster fire.
It wasn't even polished.
Well, it's not even polished. I don't know. Some people even say it was worse than Sonic 06, and I could almost reflect those feelings, but I've never played either, so I can't really say. Was that all you had to say on Sonic? Was just that, man, it's kind of been a dumpster fire recently?
Yeah.
That's fair. You want to talk about dumpster fires?
Fallout
Overwatch?
76?
Oh, Fallout 76 was also a legendary dumpster fire.
Almost heaven.
Almost heaven. Yeah, I've heard it's playable these days, but it's trying to be like the No Man's Sky situation, which is okay now, but I'm still not okay with it because of how it released. Because spoiler alert for my kind of thought process here is that games that sells in pieces to consumers, I don't really like, because I think that's cheap and lazy.
I just hated like the whole duffel kerfuffle, as people call it.
Oh yeah, the backer reward, or the pre-order rewards and stuff like that.
Because this was like 200 USD, which is roughly 350.
Oh, it was expensive for a cheap bag, yeah.
And then what'd they do? Give you $5 in currency. Can't even buy a canvas bag in that game.
Yep. Honestly, if you're more interested in the Fallout debacle, we might do another episode on it.
Hell, I'll even shell out my favorite Fallout games, New Vegas and 4.
In the bad section here,
or no, like in a Fallout episode.
Probably. I don't know much about Fallout, so that's why I'm a little hesitant. But what else we got here? Then it leads to franchise exhaustion. I found where the games aren't necessarily bad, but I'm seeing them a lot, like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry. Like they're still good games, but I mean, we're working on yearly releases like Call of Duty, and it's just, how different can it get?
That's how I feel about Assassin's Creed, just because like when they did like all these like new like reboots, I just felt empty.
Lost interest, yeah, like
because like the appeal of Assassin's Creed was it was like real life, but now they're just taking care of mythology.
Yeah, well, now they're in their old Viking age or whatever, and that's messy.
There's the Egypt one, which people liked, but I always found confusing because it had magic in it, and that was one thing I appreciated that Assassin's Creed never really had that much of.
I mean, I don't know. They're trying to probably get attention. It's Assassin's Creed. Yeah. I don't have much to say because I've completely kind of shadowed the series out of my life. I remember I played one of them on like the PS3, and that was it. I was like, cool.
I mostly remember them from the Smosh song when I was younger.
Yeah, that sounds about right. As for the Far Cry series, though, I love it. I love the Far Cry games. Far Cry 3, I 100%ed completely. I did everything in that game.
And then in Far Cry 4, Blood Dragon.
Blood Dragon, yeah, Blood Dragon was really fun too. It was campy. It was great. And then 4 came along and kind of did the exact same thing that 3 did. And then 5 came along and did the exact same thing 3 did. And now we're going to be on Far Cry 6, which is kind Oh, and then I forgot Primal because I was just Caveman 3, and it was
Monkey.
just yeah,
Monkey.
Essentially, though, is that you know, I guess to wrap up, unless you have anything else to add with AAA franchises here.
I'm just kind of like browsing around on what else I could talk about with AAA dumpster fires, because there is a lot to talk
Oh,
about.
you're right. I forgot about dumpster fires. The Last of Us 2. Yeah, that one. That's not really even funny to me. That one makes me genuinely upset because there's people who claim to like it, and it's one of the messiest projects I've ever
Mhm.
seen.
Now I will quickly like give like one positive. It has good gameplay, but then again, it's the same gameplay
It's the
from the first
same from the
one.
first one. Yes, that's why it's like good. Yay. Like I'm not. I don't usually like to like toot my own horn because it's very rude. But I genuinely believe that I could, like anyone else, could write a better story than what is provided in The Last of Us 2. Like like it's bad, and that could make some people mad here, but like no, it's offensive because I do a little bit of writing on the side, and I'm not on, and their story is all awful, and people still praise it, which just makes me feel shitty because you don't have to try anymore, I guess.
Oh, we also forgot about the Avengers game.
The Avengers game is peanuts to The Last of Us 2, man. This game won Game of the Year because they paid everyone off. Like, Avengers sure was mediocre and had like years of development, but it's a superhero game. Last of Us 2 was an expansion on the first Last of Us, which was critically, well received. And it's just, man, I don't like The Last of Us 2. Hell no. We'll probably do a full episode about the travesty of that game because fuck.
We'll have the angry eyeball episode.
The Angry Eyeball episode, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
the
it's,
episode where you get pink eye or something.
yeah, something red eye. It'd be awful. Anyway, I mean, I could vent about The Last of Us 2 for hours, but let's wrap it up here. We're already a little bit extended on our time. So, in total, I guess the main topic I wanted to discuss and kind of bring around is that indie games versus AAA games is kind of up in the air because we're seeing, if not more quality than in some AAA games compared to indie games.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a lot of people be like, oh, they don't play indie games, or they respect AAA games or indie games more. But honestly, like if you compare like Shovel Knight to any other like 2D action platformer designed by AAA games, the only thing that's different is maybe the production value a little bit. Like you can't compare God of War to like fucking, I don't know, like Celeste, right? But like still, there's definitely a remarkably like similar line of quality. And just because you have a bunch of money doesn't mean your game will automatically be better. I think, at least. There are some exceptions that work really well. Like I can't imagine like an indie version of like Horizon, or like a Monster Hunter.
Or a AAA version of Lethal League Blaze.
Yeah, like what would that even look like, right? Like that would just be crazy.
Like the concept is basic and it doesn't need like it's good that it's getting like a lot of like funding and attention, but it doesn't need too much.
Yeah, there's,
It's
there's
it's
AAA
just a
games.
fun game.
AAA games are definitely designed to be AAA games, and indie games are designed to be indie,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine. So I guess the final verdict is that which one would come out on top or be better games. It kind of depends what you want from your games. I would say I love indie games, but I also get a good kick out of AAA games.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, I guess the whole versus thing here really turned into nothing, and more just let's talk about indie games and AAA games in general.
Yeah.
But no, all games are good, except for like Yick.
Thank God you
Uh,
said that.
I know you were gonna say it if I didn't,
Remember,
or
Yick is
something.
Ick.
Yick is ick. Yicky is icky, but I'll talk about that later. Um, as of that though, I don't really know if there's anything else to talk about unless you got some last minute ideas.
Um, oh, there's one that I kind of forgot about that
What's that?
I've been loving a lot. No More Heroes. Really good game.
That counts as AAA, I guess, huh?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, it's coming back. They're getting.
It's
It
getting the
was
third
originally on
game.
the
Travis
Wii.
is back, baby.
Yeah, because everyone always wanted their third game on the Wii, but it was took so many years that everyone just forgot until now.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely
If
play
you're gonna
that.
have the Y2K episode, I'm gonna have
You can have the
the
No More Heroes episode. Those gonna be like solo episodes, honestly, because either of us don't know anything about the other's games.
or very little, or I'm just gonna be like, ew, yick. There's a
Yeah,
reference to it in
Valhalla,
yeah,
yes.
Valhalla, and I hate it
I love it. I think that's awesome.
because
The
they
second,
put all their coins in the basket and then it came out
yeah,
terrible.
I'm surprised that Valhalla didn't revoke its references, to be honest. But we'll do the yick thing later. Anyway, I think that's about good to wrap up here as an episode.
I do believe so too.
All right. Well, thank you for listening all the way to the end, or whatever you chose to do here.
Mm-hmm.
This has been the Karmotrine Lounge with your hosts Eyeball and Ch3rry. Hopefully, we'll get episodes out a little bit more consistently.
Yeah, I know it's
Yeah,
gonna be rough for a while.
with school and all that
Yeah,
work. Yeah.
because you recently, like in personal details, got a
Mm.
job.
Yeah. I picked up a job to do while the universities are down, so who knows? We'll probably still have weekend space to record these, but yeah. Thanks for joining us here at the lounge and indulging in our nerdy topics.
And
Um,
be sure to check some of these games out. I'd say
no, absolutely. Shovel Knight, Valhalla, even though it wasn't discussed properly. Yeah,
again, it's getting its own episode.
that we definitely will.
And yeah,
Anyway,
I hope
yeah.
everyone has a pleasant day.
Pleasant
Yeah.
day, evening, whatever it is. Just be safe out there in these trying times, and yeah. Thanks for joining us here in the lounge. We'll see you next time.